Hi, good evening, everybody. Welcome to An Audience With. Tonight, we have a super special guest, someone I met pretty much the day I joined the company, and has been one of the main reasons, if not the main reason, the UK has had the success it's had so far. Marco Passanante is a Royal Crown in the business, but like every one of you, started with a decision to be made. And tonight, I really want to go from where he started to making a decision to where he is today. And maybe we can all learn a little bit or a lot from Marco's journey with Zinzino. In terms of relationships with the company, Marco's is fantastic. Whenever I'm talking to headquarters, no matter who I'm talking to, whether it's someone in logistics or customer service or the founders of the company, they always smile when I mention Marco's name, and they love his energy, his determination, his persistence. And Marco, Royal Crown, 13 years experience in this industry, over 30,000 people bought into our industry, and already over 10,000 customers with Zinzino, which is truly remarkable. The amount of lives you've changed for the better, Marco, we appreciate that so much. And as I said at the start, Marco is one of the reasons, if not the main reason, the UK is in the position it is today. So welcome to the call, Marco.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you very much.
Marco, I want to start by really asking you about your time before Zinzino. What was your background? What were your goals in life? That sort of thing.
I mean, growing up, I was a soccer player. I was in Sweden. I played in second division where I was a goalkeeper. So, of course, growing up, playing Premier League or Serie A in Italy was always the dream. And it went well. It looked well at young age. And I thought I would end up in Premier League or Serie A. But all of a sudden, you're 25 and you're playing second division in Sweden. And you start realizing that Chelsea or Juventus will probably not call me. And at that time, I was working 10 hours a day for a big newspaper in Sweden. So I was working 10 hours a day and playing soccer every night and games weekend. And luckily, I got a call. A friend wanted to show me this style of marketing. And I got started directly because I didn't have any time, Steve. But I felt the future, if I want a different future, I have to understand that I need to change something that I'm doing today. Because if you keep on doing what you've been doing, you're going to keep on getting what you're already getting, right? So I wanted more freedom when it comes to money, time, and.
But that's fantastic. And, you know, home-based businesses, what made you look at home-based businesses, and why Zinzino? What did you see in Zinzino?
I mean, when it comes to the profession, I mean, already back then, many years ago, when I saw I could build a franchise out of e-commerce, have my web shop and build a e-commerce business out of that, I felt that is the future. And now we know it's the present and the future. But then look at Zinzino, when, everybody that represents product, they say they have the best product in the world. But actually, we have a test. We can prove it. And also, omega-3 is something that every cell in a body needs. And when it comes to retention as well. So the product, the test, but then also when it comes to retention, you have to understand, everybody in this call, that if people tell you, I don't believe in network marketing or direct sales, then I just ask them, so which company did you try? Yeah, XO, great. So how long did the average customer use the product? Normally it's 1, 2, maximum 3 months. So I tell them, when I say, yeah, and if it's 2 months, I said, I don't believe in that either. Because if you use, you represent products that the customers use 2 months. You have to rebuild your income every second month. With Zinzino, if they do the test, it's 18 months. And 80% of the customers reach 1 year. That's the best in the world based on numbers, because I haven't seen the same retention so far anywhere else.
No, absolutely. And the retention rate here is incredible. I've never seen it in 30 years of being in the industry, the customer focus side of things. It's special, and it's really good to hear that. I mean, when you first joined, was everything easy? I presume not. If not, what did you do differently? And what was the hardest thing you had to overcome?
No, it was super easy. I just got started, called a couple of people, found the right one directly, got customers, and just boom. It was so easy. No. I have to tell you, when I got started, I wrote down 81 names of people I want to talk business with and reached out. And it started with day one. I was excited. This is when I was brand new. Maybe some of you done the same mistakes. I started first day at the job. I was excited. So I started telling my colleagues at lunch and they ridiculed me. Same thing with soccer practice that night. And then the first Sunday dinner at my father's place, he laughed at me and said I was naive and stupid, that I believed I could make money in this industry. But then I thought, okay, Dad, how many years of experience do you have in this profession? 0. And then, no, but I know a neighbor, who had tried a profession. Great. I saw people at an event that had success. I will never compare myself to somebody who tried something and failed. I look at successful people. If they can do it, I can do it, right? So what gave me the results, Steve, was, of course, number one, know why you do this. I sat down and wrote down 10 things I wish my life was. I sat down and wrote down, how do I want to live my life? And what changed everything, Steve, was when I wrote down, why is this a tool that can give me everything I want out of life? Working with people, helping people, health, and financial freedom.
Did you have a mentor in the early days, or was you kind of self-learning the business? Was you following a system? What you understand? What support did you have?
I had my sponsor, a mentor, was a successful guy, but he lived over 1 hour from my city. So the first day I invited, and then the first day he was supposed to come, it was a Saturday. I had booked a couple of meetings, my first presentations, and he had to cancel because of some family issue. So what could I do? I have to just do those presentations myself. And everybody said no, it went horrible, but it felt well. So the reason why I only made 40 euros my first month in the industry and 100 my second, was because there was a system, Steve, but I didn't listen. How to invite. The reason I tell them everything or nothing. I tried a version we tried to explain over the phone. I burned contact after contact after contact. Then I called my sponsor after 5-6 straight calls. Everybody said no, and then I called him and said nobody would listen. So then I started to listen.
Did you ever feel like quitting, or is it something inside you what kept you going?
Let's say like this. I can't quit because my father told me I was stupid to be able to work. Some of my closest friends told me, because when I was 15 years old and I was playing in the Swedish, for the south of Sweden, the best team, best players there. And I told my father, I'm going to be a professional soccer player. And my father always kind of said, you will never make it. Stop dreaming, stop talking about that. You will never make it. And then he always said when I growing up, like I told you with the soccer. So with his business, when he ridiculed me here again, I wasn't supposed to let him be right one more time. So I doubted myself often, of course, but what I focused on in the beginning, Steve, was just, I'm going to focus on activity, 7 presentations per week for 1 year. I don't care how it goes the first couple of months, because at the end of the day, I had played soccer at the time. I was 25 for 20 years. And you know what? I paid to play soccer the first 10 years. So I could at least, invest in a business a couple of months without making money as well.
That's fantastic. And now your Royal Crown, are you more or less motivated, kind of put the work in needed to drive the business? How are you feeling right now? Because you have made it. Everyone on this call would love to be in the position you're in. You're there. What keeps you going?
My focus, this is only the beginning. I'm more excited than ever, because also for the team, helping our team go to 1 million customers. That's something that excites me a lot, and with everything we want to create around that. But what always keeps me motivated, Steve, is when I was coached and mentored by John C. Maxwell, he always said, people who are self-centered, they lose motivation. It goes up and down. But I genuinely care about people. So if you care about people, there's always a new person with a goal, with a dream. So if you focus on them, helping them achieving their, you don't get stuck in your own head, because as soon as you overanalyze, you're stuck in your head, you start seeing what you're lacking. You start seeing your shortcomings. But when you see this person with a hunger, drive, you look them in their eyes, and you grab their arm and you say, I'm going to be here side by side with you. And one thing, Steve, why I'm more excited than ever when it comes to that part is because when you can help people, number one, believe in their dreams, but even deeper, to really believe in themselves. The better you become as a leader, the more effective you become in helping them achieve their goals, right? So the better you become, the more fun it is, because the more effective you become at helping other people win.
I love that. And how do you personally create leaders?
I mean, I think when it comes to personally create, of course, you need to create that environment in your team, the infrastructure, like that's, with team calls, events, all of that structure. Then Zinzino do that well as well with the e-learning, with the Go Core app. That's a very important tool. But it starts a lot in the get started training. There's where I see in this profession, I see so many people, they get a person started or they sign them up, but don't really get them started because they just send them some videos. Hey, look at this video, and then invite, and yeah, we have the video can send an e-learning video, just look at all of this, and then they have a leader. No, look at this video and call me straight after. Take notes. Then when I talk to them, what did you like the most? So we have to talk about it, right? And of course, if they're in my city, I do it live with them, all of those steps. But it starts already there, following them and doing the steps with them. Calendar, day one, you started a business. So it starts there, taking out their calendar. When are you gonna, let's look at your calendar. Do you have work time, hobby time, family time? Great, let's look in the calendar. When are you gonna do your business? How many hours per day? And then doing the steps with them. So those are the things that get started critical, and have them invite. I force them to invite. I even do maybe the first, the second for them. But then it starts in the process when we start doing presentations as well. I do the invitations with them, talk about their goals and expectations, but then I have a process I call me, we, you. Meaning you get started, Steve, and the first 5-6 presentations, I do them. We talk about it after them, what I did, why I covered what. And then maybe the 7th or 8th or 5th, you do the product part, I do the business. Next one, I do product, you do business. That's the you, right? And then I sit and listen and give you feedback. And so that's the me, we, you. So it starts in how you treat the newest person, because you need to teach them and do it with them, all the basic steps, the invite, present, follow up, and promoting events. They need to see you do it, or see you do it with them, or else you never get to duplication.
Yeah, duplication. I mean, one of the things that I see a lot is people prejudge people, and they don't contact people because they think they're not going to get in, they're not going to join, the time is right, they're not capable, they're not able to do it. And then 3 years later, these guys that they've said that they haven't even looked at are on stage, celebrating success and their success and everything. I mean, that must be something that you've seen before. You must be
And experiences. People I didn't reach out, and I saw them at the event, and they did very well.
Oh, fantastic! So, what separates a partner from a leader? What is? Are they made? Are they born? Are they taught? What's the difference?
I mean, at the end of the day, we all know. I mean, that there's no born leaders. Some have little advantages here and there, but if you work hard on yourself, on your skills, and take massive action, you will become good. Inevitable. So I would just say the difference is just following the system, but taking massive action. And the higher activity level you have, the quicker you're going to be good. So going from a partner to a leader is going out and get at least 100 no's. Before you have 100 no's, you have no clue what they're doing even.
That's funny, because I see people getting no's and they take it really personal, and they're hurt, and it hurts their confidence. But I see leaders getting no's and they smile. And I remember the first time I asked someone, when I see it kind of face to face, why are you smiling? And it was, well, I'm closer to a yes. you know what?
Exactly. And every no is worth money, because if you have an average, I like numbers, because business is driven by numbers. Then business is very predictable. So if I know I'm new, I'm going to get 1 out of 8, 1 out of 9, I'm going to get started. I just know if the average partner starts his ultimate body kit, that's 300 credits without the 12% ECB, 300 credits. Then I know 300 divided on 9 or 8, whatever the average is. If it's 5, then every meeting is worth 60 credits if it's 5. So,
absolutely. So do you, would you say you focus more on bringing in customers or bringing in partners, or has that changed since you've kind of gone through the level? How do you do it nowadays?
no, I mean, if I look back when you start, the system is so well made that you will always focus on both from the beginning if you're going to build a business, because you need 4 customers, you need partners. You have to go to 10 partners to be active executive to get the phone bonus. And then once you have a lot of customers in your organization, why wouldn't you want double credits on the ownership, which is 25 personal customers? So of course, both. And then if you read the science and you understand what this product does in the body, automatically you will talk about it.
Absolutely. And what's next for Marco Passanante? What's your focus right now?
I mean, my focus also when I break down is look at who are my people, my leaders that are really putting in time and effort and combine that with a heart behind what they do. How can I help them create what they need to live well? And that's a key. Then of course, and I only have 9,100 customers, not 10,000 yet. Okay. But I have a high goal this year, 20,000 customers. And I want to have at the end of the year, and ambassador is next goal, and then from there straight to president.
Fantastic. Well, we'll probably have to replay this video in a couple of weeks then, because I think we announced 10,000 customers, but that's brilliant. Coming closer to home, UK is launching, and after tonight, I'm going to talk about the UK a little bit once we've finished. What do you see for the UK? What attracts you to the UK? And where do you see UK in terms of the overall Zinzino business?
I mean, the UK, it's one of the biggest markets in this profession, right? In Europe, and a huge market. So the potential is tremendous. I mean, less than 1 million customers in the UK over the next decade would be, then we haven't really done 100% of the job that we could have done. That's for sure. That's the potential of it. Then I'm looking at apartments as well. So to 90%, I'm going to move to London over the next couple of months because I like the country as well. And then of course, Dave Ives there. It took me 3 years to track him down, to try to get him into Zinzino, and then the other people I met in the UK at events and stuff. It's the people as well. It's amazing people, lovely country, except a little less sunshine than where I've been living the last couple of years. But everything else it has.
That's fantastic. So people who are looking at the business for the first time, and obviously there's a lot of companies out there, what would you say to them in terms of Zinzino and why Zinzino?
Of course, timing of the opportunity. We say here, if we talk to the guys in UK, when you have the chance to be part of a company that's 15-year-old, and after 15 years, because it was active in Scandinavia for 15 years, but still growing after 15 years on a market with 5 million people like Norway, Denmark, Sweden has 10 million people, still growing 15 years later. I mean, think about UK. We can grow a business that can last for 60 years. That's for sure. So the timing of opportunity with a product where we know that the Brits, when it comes to health, is Europeans, Americans, right? It's the second most obese country in Europe. I saw Portugal just passed them. I don't know if that's right. I saw it's in one study. I don't read deeper in the study, but it's been #1 for long in Europe and with Portugal. So when it comes to health as well, a product is so needed. So even if you're not interested in making a lot of money just for health's sake, what these products do in the body, it's amazing. And then, as I said, if you want to build a business, retention, 18 months versus classic data companies, 1 to 3, you have to rebuild it 6 to 18 times for the same income. No wonder people talk about network marketing. Oh, it's too hard, so much work for so little money. Yeah, no wonder. You have to rebuild it every 3rd month. It's too hard. Don't do it. Run. You better get a normal job. So we have something unique that really works, timing, and then a compensation plan. If you look what you need to create to be active, I mean, numbers wise, sales volume in total group to make 4,000 euros a month, pounds a month. Also there is amongst the lowest I've ever seen. So it is, I would say nothing is perfect, but I could almost say this is the perfect opportunity.
No, for sure. And UK at the moment, I mean, the business is growing here, as you know, 58% from March to April. This month is going to smash records as well. There are a lot of people starting to earn very good money in the UK, and, you know, and a lot of customers. And I think one thing I've noticed since I've been here is the word test. Because of the COVID, you know, so let's get tested. There's no test, no one can do it. But we have the oil and the test, and we can prove the efficacy of the products. We can prove it'll work, and the testimonials are just fantastic. And I guess you always talk about, when you talk to people, it's always on the test and the oil first, or do you go more for the business opportunity? What do you?
I mean, it's already an invitation. So when I have a new partner start as well, I write down potential customers, potential partners, 50 here and 50 there. And then we invite them with one invitation, more product, this one's more business. But also when we talk about the business, of course, after the relationship building, we talk about the products and test, because they have to like that to build a business, of course.
Absolutely. Has online, would you say, slowed you down? Because I think what I've seen so far since lockdown here, and we're like week 8, 7, 8, is actually there's two lots of people. There's people where every day is a Monday and they just get to it and they're determined, and there's people where every day is a Saturday, if that makes sense. I think Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday and Sunday have kind of gone now for most of us. Obviously for all the workers and the key workers doing an amazing job supporting us, and the transfers and the post and everyone keeping the business going and everyone safe. It's incredible. But online to me seems like something we won't stop, that will actually be kind of the new norm for Zinzino. I mean, I know we'll do the meetings and I can't wait for the UK launch, and we'll talk about that later. But have you made a massive difference in the way you've done things?
I mean, if I look, because I've built in so many countries for the last 8, 9 years, I started working a lot online already 2010. So if I look at, we had the infrastructure, we team meetings every week, biz tuning meetings. So the infrastructure we had, and I sit on, from own taste, even before this, I sat on too many Zooms every day. So I tell everybody, you need to do both. You need to do both, really do both, because you need a little more meetings online to get the same, the average customer, maybe some meetings more. Yeah, but at the end of the day, you can do 8 of them for the same time. You would do 4 or 3 of them offline, because you have to go here and there. So I would say you're much more efficient, of course. But then the relationship building, getting offline there, I always tell people you have to do both. You need infrastructure and system in both, 100%. Locally, you meet them live, but then you have everybody knows people outside of their own city.
Absolutely. And I think, you know, everything you've said just makes sense to me, but it's just great to hear someone who did not have experience, had to make a decision, start getting €40, €100, and then make it to Royal Crown. And then once you're there on that sort of earnings, not wanting to stop and calm things down, but it's like it's a beginning for you, a beginning of your journey. And you're a young man. I mean, much younger than me. And I just love to see that drive and determination. It just excites me and motivates me. So I really congratulate you on that, and we all do. And thanks again for the support in the UK market. Okay, so in terms of kind of special beliefs or things that you like to really inform and educate and inspire people on, what kind of message would you leave with everybody? What's your, you know, when they finish this call and they go off, what do you want them to focus on? What do you want them to think about? What do you want them to do?
I mean, for the average person out there I'm not talking now to a person who's making 10K a month and stuff, to get it going, I want you to understand that number one, find your number. Like I did when I was, not take you back when I was new. I'm 37 today. I know I look 29, but I'm 37. I was 25 when I started for really going at it. I tried it before and failed. But find your number. I didn't have time, but I decided 7 presentations per week for 1 year, no matter what. And then finding the highest tempo you can hold over time. And then realizing at the same time, it will take you 6 weeks of consistent action on that tempo before you start really seeing some results. Classic mistake I see is people, they take action 2 or maximum 3 weeks, wait for 2 weeks, then you come back 3 weeks later, then you do something 1 week and nothing for 2 weeks. Then you're just working uphill all the time because you're coming with no momentum in your energy, nothing. So you're just having to restart. So it's find your number, consistency of time, and focus on activity, not the results, the first months. Because if you, with the right activity level, you will eventually get the results. Because with the right activity level over time, you will refine your skills. You will be better. You will be more confident. You will create the first results. That will come. And then also remember that every person that's a Royal Crown, ambassador, crown, director, they started with nothing. I wrote down 81 names and, nobody got going. And think about the UK. You see Sue there. I mean, when we just started in the UK, so you remember, you meet Dave and David Morrell back last summer, driving around, starting in London, going to Plymouth. We were in other cities. We're here and there, and Birmingham, and some rooms. We had, what did we have there in Birmingham? Was Birmingham like 5 people or something like that? And Dave was like, I just said, this is charming. This is charming because you have to go through that here to be able to have that up here as well. Everybody, or most people, not everybody, but most people want this. But they're here today and they're paying the price for being here. So it's finding a tempo, holding it over time. And the key is you set up that plan to do it and you do it no matter if you feel like it or not. Stop whining, stop feeling sorry for yourself because your big toe hurts or my stomach hurts. Who cares? Either you want to live your dream life or not. Everybody has problems, but we're so selfish as human beings. So just think about it. If you had a broken arm, it hurts so bad. But then when somebody else comes with it, they say, yeah, come on. No, it will pass a month. But then you feel so sorry for yourself because something happened. There's people who have worse circumstances than you, but they're doing it 10 times better than you. This profession is the easiest way to create financial freedom. Disclaimer, it takes hard work, of course. But when I say easy, I talk from experience. Where can I, as a 25-year-old with no business experience, my mother, I grew up, she was a bartender. My father had a pizzeria. And growing up there with no business experience, no good contacts, just pure willpower, deciding I'm going to do 7 presentations per week, no matter what. And just stay at it. What, in the beginning, there was 1 week, Steve, this is when I say again, you have to do it when you don't feel like it. It's those small things over time. Success is just small daily activities, the right habits over time. That's how easy success is. The hard thing is the person or the fool you look at the mirror every morning. That's the problem. And everybody has those struggles. Learn to realize you're human beings. You won't feel like it most of the times. Catch that thought, change it, and just do it. So, Steve, there was, I don't remember, it was 1 month in, 2 months into my career. I said 7 presentations per week. I had 2 cancellations on Sunday. On Sunday afternoon, I'd done 6 meetings, and I told myself, I have to do 7. I called people who said no. And when you have nobody to call, just call somebody else. So I called somebody else who maybe said no. I said, hey, Lucas, I know the business is nothing for you, but who do you know? That's another key. Magic question. Ask people. Who do you know that's a leader? Who do you know that I should know? Who do you know that's into business? Who do you know that's ambitious? So I called. Nobody could meet me. So what did I do? Took my car, drove to the gas station, already had some gas in my car, put in some extra, walked in with a brochure, the product. Was Sunday night. He was alone, the guy working there. So I talked to him, just asking questions. How long you worked there? What do you like the most? Yeah, what do you want to do in the future? Ever thought about starting a business? Yeah. Great, I'm expanding. I'm working with a big health company. I'm expanding in this area right now. If you're open for new opportunities, talk business. Okay, yeah. What is it? Like that.
That's one of the best 1 minute presentations I've ever heard. Because that is exactly it, isn't it? It's like the lift presentation, that you have that 1 or 2 minutes where you're capturing people's what they're looking for, and you're asking a couple of questions, get a whole load of answers, and then you go in with either the business side or the product side based on body language and results and that. I guess one thing I see now, which people are doing much more on Zoom, which probably didn't before, is they're using like their active upline leader to do freeway calls with prospects who they're not confident with or not sure about or need some guidance. What's your views on that on freeways?
It's key. For example, I had one woman, a female leader that I was working with. This was the former company I was with, and she wanted to succeed there. So she took 6 months off from her job. She said, I'm willing to do whatever you say I'm going to do. I work all in. I'm going to go all in. After 1 month, she had done so many presentations, meetings. I always told her about the three-way call. Use me. You need a third part. Nobody signed up. After 1 month, I told her, you're not allowed to talk to anybody if you don't use me. After that, next 2 meetings. One was in London, actually, and one was in Sweden. She promoted me, connected with me. I connected with them. They got started. And her 5th month, she made 9,000 euros. From nothing after 1 month, 5,000 euros. And my London team there, Dave met some of them. And we did very well there as well, those months, and then in the Sweden group as well. Because she used third part. You can think you're better at presenting, but psychology-wise, you need a third part. Because with your friends overall, if you've never been a health expert, then you come and talk about the health product, this or that, or business, and they don't see us as a business person. But bringing in an expert, psychology. You promote Sue, Dave, whoever you're using, Steven, Fitz, you're promoting the third part, they will listen to them because you promoted them. So before a 2-on-1, if Sue brings her contact and Sue is new, I'm going to teach her to promote me. Because if she promotes me before, 80% of the job is done. They're going to listen from minute 1 what I'm saying because I'm the expert. But if Sue said, yeah, I'm going to bring my friend there in the business, they're going to sit like this the first 10 minutes. Why should I listen to him? Who is that? What does he know? So it's psychology. So you want to master the psychology. And why not use the psychology to your advantage instead of to your disadvantage?
That's incredible. I know we're jumping around a little bit. But the Vitas, the independent lab for the blood, you've been and visited there, and can you tell us about that experience? Because Platinums in May in UK will be going to Vitas to have a look for themselves and meet Orion and come to the headquarters. What's your what are they in for on that visit?
I mean, when you see, you have to remember this is a World Health Organization recommended laboratory, and it's independent. It's not Zinzino's lab. And you come there and you see the machines they have and the investments it take to be able, and the process, when they show the machines and the process and everything, you see that this is for real. This is not a little local laboratory that measure thing. This is a huge thing. Also knows now, Steve, that the Norwegian government, they reached out to them about some kind of COVID-19 testing. So that's the kind of credibility they have. I don't know how that went, but that's the kind of credibility and the seriousness behind what you do. So you get there, you realize this is for real. And also seeing that they're expanding, they're willing to buy new machines once we have even more customers. And they are ready to grow to 100 million customers over the next 30 years as well. So
it's fantastic. And Marco, it's been great talking to you tonight. And I just want to see if there's anything in particular you want to cover, which we've not got over, or anything important that I've missed, because it's just been really cool for me to listen to your story and your passion, but really the bit that how you got started and the struggles you had and what you've done to overachieve them. And you got to the top level, one of the top levels, and you've not sat back, you've just gone again, and you're coming to the UK, and we're so happy for that. But any final comments, or are we good?
We're good. It's just that, guys, it's so worth it. It's so worth it. And whenever this is something I want you to bring with you every day, is that whatever you believe in, you'll meet people who don't believe in that. Who cares? Who cares? You need to check what you need to check to make a decision for you, because you're the one wake up with yourself every morning. You look at yourself in the mirror, and even if you believe this and you meet a lot of people who believe this, if you would have believed this, you would meet many others who believe this. Some people believe in God, some don't. Who's right? We don't know. Everybody has the right to their opinion. Some people think, like I read a book once, Steve, just as an example, and I loved the book. I went to reviews. There were thousands of people had given this book a 5. But you know what's interesting? There's also thousands of people had given it a 1. Who's right? Nobody, because everybody's different, and you need to just trust yourself. And if it feels right for you, go for it. Whatever you believe in life, go for it. Even if it wouldn't work, as long as you gave it 3 years all in, you're going to be one of you in the world who can look yourself in the mirror and say, I'm proud of myself. I stood up for what I believe in. I fought for what I wanted to realize, or how I wanted to live. And that makes life more worthwhile. And you're going to be happier and not bitter like too many people who just let fears stop them from everything. That was it, Steve. But thank you, Steve, for everything you do. I'm happy to have you on board, and thank you very much. And don't give me too much credit for UK. Absolutely not. Of course, I think I've been there, 5 times now, for 5 times, 6 months, or 6 times in 7 months, whatever it is. It's not me. It's the guys. They are doing it. I can't wait to get there even more, getting the apartment there to 90% and rocking and rolling with you guys.
Marco, from all of us, thank you so much, and for everything you do, and we look forward to seeing you in the UK very soon. Everybody, Marco Passanante.
Everybody. Ciao, ciao, ciao. Thank you, Steve, for everything you do.
Pleasure. I just want to make a couple of announcements now.